Do you agree with the statement, we are free to use any means necessary, accepting sinful ones, to reach the lost for Christ? The problem with saying yes to that is that it might omit a category. It introduces the category of sin. If it's not sin, it's okay. But there's another category like wise. And I think only dealing with the category of sin as the criteria for what you do is probably not wise. When you ask, can I discipline my children in any way that's not sinful? Well, that's not a helpful way to ask the question. What you want to ask is, what ways of disciplining or interacting with my children would be helpful to them, maximally helpful? And there might be some non-sin ways that are not very helpful. So I think I'd answer no to this question. I'll read it again. Do you agree with the statement, we are free to use any means necessary? Well, the word necessary kind of gets in the way there too, doesn't it? Accepting sinful ones to reach the lost for Christ. But I think I'll stay on track and not worry with that word necessary. All I want to say is, when you determine that all things are lawful for me, Paul says, and I do all things in order to, make known Christ, I think he means all things within the context not only of what's not sinful, but what's wise or helpful or strategic. So for example, goodness gracious, there would be ways of dressing, kinds of music, language you'd use, and so on, which in and of themselves aren't in the category of sin, but might be on a trajectory that would take a church to an unhelpful place that 10 years, 20 years, 30 years out would be hurtful, destructive, unhelpful. So I have often struggled with this issue that Paul seems to operate with better and best within the category of non-sinful. For example, in 1 Corinthians 7, where he's saying to the single folks, now, if you marry, it's not a sin. But I wish you didn't. I'm like, what? How can you have a A+ and a B- life and the B- not be sin? It's like, and yet he does. There's a category inside non-sin of preferable and less preferable. So I'm just going to say that in answer to this question. No, I don't think you should operate on the question, can we do anything that's not sinful, with a simple yes.